And good morning, everybody, and welcome. It is Friday, and it is a special day. It is episode number 24 of the Breakfast Burrito on your sports network. I am DJ Yoakley. My broadcast partner, Thomas Q. Pease, is not here yet. He's running a little late. I think he's on the road once again. But filling in for him is the franchise, the king of YSN and the Breakfast Burrito. He is your favorite component of the burrito. It is the Squeaky Bandito. Squeaky, what's up, baby?
Squeaky Esquire Bandito, for all those that don't know. Esquire.
What's cracking, my friend?
Not much. Just enjoying this beautiful morning, East Central Ohio. 50-mile-an-hour winds, blowing snow everywhere. I mean, the usual.
I'm just happy you're able to join us this morning. I thought for sure the Bandito Dojo was banging last night, man. Were your shutters banging like mine were with these 50-mile-an-hour winds?
Yeah, I actually had my storm windows open because when it was like 75 degrees, it got unbearably hot in my room. So yeah. I opened them up and I just left them open. And then last night I was like, boom, 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 boom. Everything just started banging, and I had to shut them real quick because I thought my windows were going to break. Wow,
that was pretty intense. And with the snow, and I know some people lost power. Some people around here still don't have power. So, we'll keep an eye on the situation, but we hope everything's going well. We hope you are well this morning. If you're tuning in to the Breakfast Burrito and you hear this lovely voice of the Squeaky Bandito, we look forward to every Friday with the man, the myth, and the legend. So, Squeak, I got a question for you. We had a chance to watch the Potter game this week, and I peeped you out, man. You were in the zone, my friend.
Were you there?
I was there. I was up in the rafters like Sting.
You weren't rappelling down, right?
I thought about it, but then I thought better of it.
Yeah. I just, whenever people are there, I don't notice when people are there, honestly. I don't. I'm on the bench. I got a job to do, and that's really all I focus on when I'm on the bench.
So what is it that you do? What are you doing? Keeping track of?
I'm keeping live stats, everything that's going on like an iPad, like most programs do now.
Wow. Very cool. I just knew that every time you came on to the floor for a timeout or at the end of the game, you were still in the zone, man. You were locked in. You take your job pretty serious.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
My man.
I'm 100 times worse during football, though. I'm 100 times worse.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Zoned in. I thought you were at like an 11, man. So that was like, what would you scale yourself at for that Beaver local game?
About a 6.
Wow.
About a 6.
Holy cow. The Bandito leaving some on the table, waiting for Zanesville.
Hey, that's going to be a daunting task tomorrow night. It really is. I mean, Zanesville's got a legitimate kid that's going to a Division I college, but I know it's a far drive from people in East Liverpool and people in Columbiana County, but it's worth the 2.5 hours to go down there. It's a beautiful gym to play in. It's a nice atmosphere.
So talk about what we're going to get Tommy's kind of preview when he gets on here, but talk about what you see. I mean, for the strengths of the Potters, the weaknesses of the Potters, and how they stack up against Zanesville tomorrow.
I haven't really seen too much on them, to be honest. I just seen the 6'7" kids going to Marshall, and
sure.
I know some of the backstory behind that, which I'm not going to get into, but I know some of the backstory. But
are you looking to? I mean, the Potters gave a good show on Tuesday against Beaver local. So I mean, what are the things they got to work on to shore up offense, defense, and everything in between to come away with a W?
Just got to play every possession like it's your last because of the playoffs.
Fair enough.
Just got to play. Just got to play every. Hey, like Jimmy Vallano said, survive in advance. Survive in advance.
That's it. Real quick, not to spend a whole lot of time on the Potters this morning. We were talking a little bit off the air about your pick for the NCAA tournament. Before we get into our brackets, obviously, here in a couple weeks, you have a very interesting pick that you're taking for this year's title. Who are you picking?
The other day I was working and a cop was driving by in his cop car. He asked me, he's like, "Hey, who do you got in the tournament?" I paused for a second and I said, "The FBI."
Oh man.
Which I don't know who's going to win the tournament, honestly, but I expect it to be somebody not affected by the scandal. I really do.
Really?
Somebody that's not named in the scandal.
You think so?
Yes.
We'll get into that a little bit later in the show because we are going to talk a little bit, revisit the Sean Miller situation because Arizona did have a game last night and it went all arrows pointed up for Mr. Miller. So that's good news for him. We'll get into that just a little bit later in the show. I did want to talk about this morning. Did you happen to catch the Cleveland Cavaliers game last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, they got trounced a little bit at home to the 76ers. And at the end of the game, there was a player, I believe his name it is Saric for the Sixers. Game's out of hand. Sixers have the ball. All he's got to do is take the ball and run out the clock. Decides to go and dunk it on the other end of the court. The Cavs not playing defense. Surprise, surprise. But he goes and puts one down, and Jordan Clarkson picks up the ball. And I wouldn't say he gunned it off his back, but he tossed it pretty hard in his general direction, and it bounced off his back, and it started a little bit, and then Clarkson got ejected. What says you about something like that from the standpoint of sportsmanship, from the standpoint of showboating, or is it just, hey, Cavs, you don't want them to score, play defense?
I go more further than that than I was always told whenever I played. I was a very bad basketball player, by the way, even when I tried to play. That's why I wrestled. I was a very bad basketball player. Now, at the same time, I don't know how it goes now with these guys, but if somebody wants to go to the rim and try to dunk it on me, you know what my thought process is? They're not dunking. If that means the technical or thrown out of the game, whatever. They're not dunking on me.
So
I'm not clearing the lane. I'm not letting them do it. No.
Gotcha.
But that may be my old school philosophy there. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but
you're saying you would play defense on it rather than let him, finish out the clock, just hold the ball like the majority of, I guess, the teams will do. They just say
a majority of the people will hold the ball for the last 20 seconds when you're up. What did they lose by last night?
Yeah, I think it was like 10-15, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people just hold the ball. It's like, game's over.
So who do you point the finger at and say that's poor sportsmanship?
Both.
Oh, the old
both
twisteroo, huh?
It was the one guy's fault for dunking. It was the other guy's fault for being childish and immature and throwing the ball at him.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So if you're Jordan Clarkson, what are you supposed to do?
Laugh at him.
True, Tommy.
He's here.
True, Tommy. But honestly, when the media comes after that game, what can you say other than you got your butt kicked? What can you say? We got a butt kick.
Well, I think for Jordan Clarkson too, and you guys can tell me I'm completely off base, he's still looking to make an impact in that locker room and show that, he's bleeding wine and gold. So for him to do that, I think it was more along the lines of, all right, the game's over. You didn't need to do that. So he chucks it off the guy's back. Tommy, did you see the video?
I did. Yes, I did.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's garbage both ways, just like Eric said. I mean, Saric, come on. Game's over. Quit trying to pad your stat line. Let it be. And it kind of made Clarkson mad, and he might have overreacted a little bit. But, like you said, two wrongs don't make a right, but they're both wrong in this situation. And it, could have been avoided on both sides.
I'm gonna go on further.
Okay.
Just like I found out a couple days ago when they re-signed Blake Bortles that Chad Henne's backup Okay, I didn't know Chad Henne was still in the NFL. I didn't know Jordan Clarkson was still in the NBA.
What?
I didn't know he was still in the NBA. I thought he had
just got traded.
Jimmy Jackson got traded 15 times in his career. What's your point?
Are you a Cavs fan?
Not really.
Okay,
Not
there
really.
it is.
What? I'll watch them if they're on. I'm not a Cavs fan.
Are you a well, I can just guess. Are you a Warriors fan?
No. I'm not really a fan of any professional basketball team. I'm really not.
Wow.
I'm really not. If it's a good game, I'll watch it, but I'm not a fan per se. I like people more than anything, but
I pegged you for a Warriors fan, given that you're a huge 49ers and Raiders fan.
No, I'm not a Raiders fan. Not even close. Don't even go wearing that hat. Don't even go with that.
I'm just saying, usually if I'm not a fan of a team or not even close, I ain't buying a hat and wearing it on public podcasts.
I'll buy a hat. I'll buy any hat other than a Braves hat, all right?
Braves? That's where you draw the line?
Other than a Braves hat. Although whenever I do the ballpark tour and I am forced to buy one there, I'm probably going to have to, but I'll probably never wear it.
Oh, you do the hats for the ballpark tours too?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, we have a lot in common there, Bandito.
Yeah, I'll never wear that hat, but I'll buy it, but I'll never wear it.
Way offline here, but why the Braves?
I'm a Pirates fan. I still remember the '90s. Francisco Cabrera still puts a sickening thud in my stomach.
What would you do if you ever had a chance to meet Sid Bream?
Shake his hand because I have no problem with Sid Bream. Sid Bream left because the Pirates wouldn't pay him. Like McCutcheon trashed the Nuttings the other day at Giants spring training.
Well, that wasn't by himself, and we were going to wait till a little closer to the season to talk about that, but it seemed like it was a little bit more of the Giants that are all formerly Pirates.
You mean like Watson,
Melanson,
yeah,
McCutcheon, basically all the studs that we had, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, are now trashing, nutting. So, I mean, is that? I guess let's address that real quick. Is that something? Is that bad taste?
No, they didn't do anything in 2015 when they knew it was their last chance. They didn't do anything.
That seems to be the songbird right now for the Pirates, is they're not doing a whole lot other than going to get Corey Dickerson, wanting so much credit for it.
They won what and finished second in the division. They won what? They won 98 games in 2015. Is that what they won?
Correct.
And they didn't do anything.
Was that the year we went out and got
that was the
Justin Morneau? Or who was that? It wasn't Morneau, was it?
That was 13. They got Morneau. And Morneau didn't do anything in September and in the playoff run when they lost the Cardinals in 5 games. He didn't do anything.
Marlon Byrd.
He wore 66 for Lemieux's number. Yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty cool. But all right, back on track here. Okay. So we're we're saying that it was 2 wrongs don't make a right. Tommy is saying that Jordan Clarkson's probably going to mince words a little bit. But I guess the biggest thing out of that, and all eyes, I mean, naturally, I'll look at what Jordan Clarkson did and how he reacted. But then I'll immediately look to LeBron James and see how he's reacting. And LeBron was pissed. I don't know if you guys caught him, but he was upset. He was talking all kinds of trash after that happened. As the leader of the team, as the leader of essentially the free world, LeBron James had a chance to kind of calm things down, but he ratcheted it up. What's your take on that?
You want to take this one, Tommy?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah. You mean like yesterday, late in the game, LeBron? Is what you're talking about? Yeah,
he was fired up after that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad sportsmanship
for
Sarek. I don't think LeBron was mad at Jordan Clarkson, was he?
No. He was definitely directed towards the 76ers bench and the players on the court.
Yeah, I mean, he has a right to be fired up. Game's over. Professional athletes. Why are we trying to rub it in or pad your stat line or whatever's going on there? And it's a time when there's no need for that. Basically, there's no need for Sark to do that, and that's going to make a player like LeBron James is going to make any player mad. Apparently, because Clarkson threw the ball at him like WTF? What are you doing?
WTF, mate?
Yeah, I mean. So, yeah, I understand. How about LeBron's move last night, though? How about that move?
Oh, my goodness.
Behind the back to the left side, gets fouled going up, left-handed floater off the glass, bucket good.
Tell me you saw the most impressive part of it for me, behind the back through Double T's legs, through Tristan Thompson's legs into his hands.
Right.
It's hard enough to do that, in practice by yourself. He's using other players to go between their legs and pick the ball out on the other side. I don't even think Tristan Thompson knew what was going on.
Yeah, he was just setting a screen.
That might be, right. To me, that might be one of the most impressive plays of all time. And I'm talking all time. Exhibition. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, think of all
it's a bold statement.
Well, you think about all the pieces that go into place there. If Tristan is, picks up his foot a little bit, that ball is off his calf and going the other way. And I mean, if either one of those players, he split defenders, basically beat 4 out of the 5 76ers by himself. 4-on-1, LeBron James still wins. That's incredible.
That's why he's the king.
Yeah. He's
and now the baby king.
The baby king.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Simmons, baby king.
I don't know about all that. He might be a princess, but he's certainly not the baby king. I don't even know that. I mean, why would you want that? That you want to talk about pressure to live up to a LeBron James. Wow. But regardless, that sportsmanship is sportsmanship at the professional level. And I heard him talking about it last night. What was that?
That was a Squeaky Bandito.
But it was incredible that the Cavs not able to pull one out, but they're gonna have to get their act together here pretty soon. I still think they need some time to gel, but they're fun to watch, if nothing else. They're really fun to watch, and they're playing some excited and inspired basketball. Just the 76ers too much last night. On to the other Cavaliers team. We talked a little bit about North Carolina, Miami the other day. How about this one? Louisville and Virginia last night, coming down to the wire. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this one. Louisville has the lead and the basketball, and they're out of bounds, and the guy tries to run the line on an inbounds pass, and is that an official traveling call? I don't know what they call that. But he gets called for essentially running up the line, and Virginia gets the ball back, down 2. They inbound it, 3-point bank shot, gets it to go. They win the ball game at the buzzer. These buzzer beaters, still, I still think baseball and in the park home run, the most exciting play to me in sports. But buzzer beaters are unbelievable. They get me jacked. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's high school, little kids, college, pros. Buzzer beaters are awesome. And last night, we've been treated to 2 this week, guys. Which buzzer beater was better?
I like the Miami, but Miami, North Carolina buzzer beater better for myself. But yeah, buzzer beaters are awesome. I mean, as a kid, how many times you out in the backyard, 3, 2, 1, and you're firing up a shot. I mean, those are shots that young kids and basketball players dream of. Having that chance to win the game or tie the game at the end of the game. It's awesome. I mean, but yeah, the Miami one for me, just was great because what it did to the North Carolina crowd just took the air right out of the gym. I mean, immediately, and it was just It's just crazy. I mean, both of them, of course, great endings, but the Miami, North Carolina, for me, tops last night's buzzer beater.
Chapel Hill still sucking air, trying to find
air. Oh, man. They were fired up.
They
pulled it off.
They lost they lost their entire, I guess they exhausted their entire breathing system there, because they're still having trouble. But it was a good game. I'm with you. I still like the Chapel Hill buzzer beater. Squeaky, what says you?
Virginia, because I didn't know they could make a shot.
Oh,
I just thought, they're the number one team in the country. They play great defense, but their offense, maybe the reason they probably don't win a national title, because they just don't have much offense. That shocks me more that they made a buzzer beater.
Defense beats offense when it comes to championships, correct?
Not in basketball, because you still got to score. You still have to score. You still have to score. You want a perfect example is that? Look at Jamie Dixon's run the entire time he was at Pitt. It barely played any offense. All they played was defense. It's called a glass ceiling, gentlemen, and that's all they ever reached.
Well, here's my question. If that's the case, and Jamie Dixon, look what essentially the Pitt program is now. Sometimes I look at the Pitt program and I say, man, Jamie Dixon maybe pulled some major rabbits out of that hat in his time here. And I don't want to say that he didn't have talent, because he absolutely did. But did he make them better than they were?
No, what made them better was in 2007, they got the second best player in the Pittsburgh area, because in 2007, Western PA had some of the best talent in the country. And he benefited off of that.
Fair statement. I guess the buzzer beater question, getting back to that, is what do you think is the most exciting play in sports? Is it the buzzer beater? Is it, some people say it's the kickoff in the NFL. Some people say it's a punt return. Some people say it's the Hail Mary, home runs, inside the park, outside the park, whatever you want. What is your take? Let me give you your top three. And what is your, I guess, most exciting play in all of sport? Esports don't count, by the way.
All right, number 3 for me is going to be the Hail Mary. Most exciting play in sports, especially when it means something. Number 2 is going to be a buzzer beater in basketball.
Uh-oh.
And number 1 is a walk-off home run.
Okay, I can respect that. Bandito.
Number 3 is a hockey power play in the last 2 minutes of the game with the goalie pulled down 1.
Oh, man.
Because that is nerve-wracking. Number 2 is a buzzer beater. Number 1 is the last-second field goal, because you get the people kicking that are barely on the football team, barely acknowledge being on the football team. Oh, and by the way, the game's on the line for you. All you do is make this field goal. That's all you got to do. Or tie the game or win it. That's all you got to do.
Wow. A field goal. He says a field goal.
Last-second field goal. A last-second field goal.
He's a soccer fan. He's a soccer fan. He likes kickers.
No, it's not that I don't like kickers. That's pressure.
You don't like kickers?
And usually barely football players.
You just rank
pressure's not at the plate, being down or being tied, 1-on-1 with a pitcher throwing 90+ mile an hour fastball at you. That's not pressure.
It is, but that happens every night. It happens every night.
You don't see walk-off home runs happen very often.
No, you don't see that very often, but you do see a bottom of the ninth every night. A football game, you don't see games usually decided by 2 or 3 points at the end of the game. You don't see that very often. And then the whole business with icing the kicker, people taking timeouts.
Incredible. Guys, those are 2 really good lists. The power play caught me off guard, Bandito. I think that's probably gonna be my number 1. Like you overtook my number 1. I was gonna go.
My goodness.
Hockey. I mean, really, if you're watching, and here's I'll one up that playoff power plays, no matter when they are incredible. They're incredible to watch. because then you can get what 6-on-4 out there, essentially, and man, it's fun and it's just scramble. Pucks are flying everywhere. The goalies a lot of times, especially if it's Marc-Andre Fleury, he's a guy that's just flying around and just throwing legs flying everywhere. It's like a really bad Vegas party. No pun intended with Marc-Andre Fleury, but
right,
like there's just limbs everywhere. So I'm with you. Spoiler alert, that's my number one.
Now, playoff overtime games are just completely nerve-wracking.
See, yes, they are. However, we haven't been treated to a playoff overtime game like we're accustomed to for a long time. Usually what you'll see is they'll scrap for 3 periods, and then in the overtime period, it's a goal within the first 30 seconds to a minute.
So the Pens didn't go to the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but winning in double overtime in Game 7.
Take it easy, Bandito.
I'm just saying.
You just put a kicker on your number one things of exciting things to watch. So
yeah, easy, Ray Finkel.
I want to see the kicker miss most of the time.
Laces out.
Laces out, Finkel.
There's truth to that. There is truth to that.
Okay. Okay.
East Ventura over here.
There's truth to that.
Yeah. So the most exciting, I'm with you. I kind of want to combine both of them. I mean, the buzzer beater for me is good. That's kind of like 3A is I'd say it's a walk-off in baseball. It's exciting, but it just depends on, I mean, like everything, it depends on who's playing. If it's the Pirates and I don't know, the Reds, it is like every home run's exciting. You talk about like the Russell Martin home run in the playoffs. Like that is, I still get goosebumps thinking about that. One I think we're overlooking is how about a hole in one? When somebody sinks a hole in one, do you not stop and watch when somebody says, "Oh, here's a hole in one from such so and so"? I mean, that's exciting stuff. Not that golf's exciting in the least bit, but when it's on SportsCenter, you got to stop and watch and see how it was done. Am I wrong on that?
No,
I know. I mean, hole in one is exciting, just not as exciting as all the other ones.
True.
Intriguing as the hole in one. Yeah, I'll watch it. Let me see how it happened. But
what about Squeaky, if you're playing a video game and it's a last second field goal on Madden? Would you rank that up in your top 3?
No, because usually I miss them and end up breaking a controller. So no.
And who kicks field goals in Madden?
Squeaky.
And who punts?
Squeaky. He loves the kicker.
No, I don't.
Ray the Bandito Finkel.
The Bandito wants as much screen time for those kickers as possible on Madden.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Yes.
Okay, so those are our top 3. What's the worst, the least exciting plays in sports? This is a little tougher because you got to think about it and mull it over. My number one.
A walk.
Walks can be exciting.
Yeah, they can be.
The walks
normally
are
not.
terrible.
A walk, a handoff up the middle, a foul shot.
Curling.
The
entire sport. What about taking a knee?
Definitely boring.
Should taking a knee be taken out of the game?
No.
Why do you say no?
Do you want a little anecdote on the knee? I'll give you one right now. Actually,
let's do it.
Okay. The reason why the knee became popular and do it is because back in the 70s, teams didn't used to do that. And of course, the game that put everybody that takes a knee right after that was the Miracle of the Meadowlands, where they fumbled the snap and Herman Edwards returned the touchdown, correct?
Correct.
The offensive coordinator for the New York Giants was Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson was the head coach at East Liverpool in the 50s.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that at all.
And I remember going to Frank Dawson because I read that and I noticed it, and I was like, is this the same guy? And he just didn't talk about it, which means yes, it was.
So why didn't he talk about it?
Because he knew Bob, because before Bob died, Bob lived in Fort Myers. Frank's winter home's down in Estero, right near him. He probably talked to him all the time, I would imagine. Bob was one of his assistants whenever Frank played football too.
Gotcha. Interesting. So you say take the knee out or keep the knee in?
Right? I would keep it in because there's a purpose for it. There's a purpose for it because now I don't like it at the end of the half. I don't like that, but end of the game I understand it. But
here's why I don't like the knee, and I understand why they do it, but I don't like it because now there's a bunch of guys that think they're superstars and heroes at the end of the game with 60 seconds left, let's say, or 30 seconds left, that couldn't play the game or win on the 59 and a half minutes that they had to play. But in the last 30 seconds, they're going to amp it up and try to make a play. That's why I don't like the knee, is because a lot of times the offense is saying, white flag, it's over. This thing's done. And the defense is saying, oh no, you're going to fumble a snap, or, we're going to pick the ball off and make a highlight out of this. So people get hurt. You're seeing people starting to get hurt.
Yeah, and you see typical trash like people from Seattle that get mad at the end of the game because they lost and they try to go in the stands, beat people up.
There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking, Bandito. Tommy, what do you say about the knee?
I mean, it has its place in the game. I mean, if a team has got to that point where they're able to knee and win the game, then they've done their jobs. I mean, it's boring, but at the same time, it plays a part of the game that rewards a team for getting into the position to be able to kneel down, I guess.
So for me, the ultimate boring play and stupid is the intentional walk. And even more stupid when the pitcher doesn't have to throw
4 pitches.
Not anymore.
See, and that's why I think it's ridiculous, is the fact that they should have to throw 4 pitches. I don't think you should just be able to do like you do in co-ed softball and say, hey, Blue, I want to walk this batter. You can't do that.
That's at all levels now.
And that's ridiculous. You should have to throw the ball, because we've seen it where you can throw the ball away. If the bases are empty, yes, I can understand it. But you're still taking reps off that pitcher's arm.
Didn't Barry Bonds once hit an intentional pitch and hit a home run?
Yeah, I believe so. But that's why, I mean, this isn't – it benefits the pitcher to have an intentional walk. You see what I'm saying?
It benefits the team. I just put them on. Why sit there and watch 4 pitches?
Because if he throws one away and there's a guy on third, the runner scores. Yeah. And also, if you're doing a pitch count, those pitches count towards his pitch count, especially in like Little League, right? So in Little League, they get that if Bandito says it's at all levels, in Little League, you're on a pitch count. So 60 pitches, and you can't pitch for 2 days or something like that, or a week, or I forget what it is. But if you just intentionally walk somebody, your best pitcher to get to their best hitter, and you got 4 pitches left, and you know that, you can take advantage of the numbers. I think it's a bad move. Play baseball, like throw the ball to the catcher. That's all it is. But you're an advocate for the other way around.
I like it. I like it just saying take your base.
Any background behind that, or just to save time, or what?
Yeah, time. Game's already slow enough. They're trying to implement little things to speed up the game, and that's just another way of doing it.
I've got a great idea for speeding up the game. Cut out some commercials. You really want to speed up the game? Cut commercials. And I'm an advocate for commercials, obviously with YSN. But if we're sitting here talking about ways that we want to speed up the game, commercials are slow everything down. It's an experience. And I don't know if you guys saw one of the rants. Bandito, I don't think you've met Greg yet. Greg Brown, one of our broadcasters, went on an unbelievable rant about baseball trying to speed the game up. And the game, for baseball purists, the game of baseball is not one that's kept on a clock. You know what I mean? It's
right.
It's a beautiful game if you understand it, and it's a beautiful game to teach to your kids. You know, for me, it's awesome that I took the 2004 Red Sox as an opportunity to teach my future wife the game of baseball, why a fastball, a curveball, stuff like that. But there's no clock, so people don't know how long it's going to be, so they can't, use their, they don't know when to use their dinner reservations. So it's interesting to me that Tommy's an advocate for speeding the game up.
So if you want to speed the game up, I have no problem speeding the game up a little bit. When did we go away from them enforcing on every pitch the batter stepping out of the box, readjusting his gear, his gloves, everything else? When did we go away from that? Because they were going to force that and then it just went away.
I'm not sure. I just remember it was a huge deal back in the days of Nomar Garciaparra, because there was a huge routine that he used to go through.
Plus, it didn't help that the Yankees and Red Sox is the only game that ever got broadcast nationally, and they took 4 hours because of that.
Well, that's because they had to pay the bills, and that's everybody wants to point the finger at the game. Reality is, there's a guy in the stands, usually with orange gloves on, right? That tells you when you can go on and when you have to leave for a commercial break. And they were extending commercial breaks from the typical 2 minutes to 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 4 minutes during the game. And that's what made the game so long. So not that I'm for or against I love the commercials because I know how it works. I know that's how networks make their money. But reality is they've got nobody to point their finger at except themselves. Really, if you think about it. I mean, an intentional walk extends the game about 30 seconds, right? 4 pitches, maybe a minute. And you don't get that many a game. But for baseball to speed up, it's not really the game's fault. I mean, you've got managers. This is what's scary. There are 60, 65-year-old men jogging out to the pitcher's mound now because they're on a time clock. What happens if one of them goes down? They're not in shape.
It'll be funny.
Good point. I don't know if it'd be funny, but good point.
Tommy says it's funny. This game brought to you by St. Elizabeth's Hospital.
What, you want to see Joe Madden go down, 70-year-old Joe Madden? You want to see him go down?
That I would pay to see. I would pay to see that.
I'd pay to see Arietta get popped for all the stuff he's been on, but he's got to find a team first.
Hey, I'm hearing through the grapevine that Philly is interested in Arietta. Not that matters. I mean,
they got a $40 million payroll. They should be interested.
The Pirates should be interested in Arietta. We don't need to go over this again, but the Pirates need an ace, a firm ace. And Jake Arrieta is out there, and you're not even going to sniff around?
Arrieta might be the first Pirate to ever sign him. Will probably get booed when he went out there.
We talked about that the other day. I think that Arrieta would be AJ Burnett-esque, and he would the town would rally around him. And not only that, but I think a lot of people would get off Nutting's case if he pulled the trigger on somebody like Arrieta.
It would, excuse me, it would help a lot if Arrieta came to town. It would take a lot of heat off Nutting. But Arrieta's not signed. Arrieta's not signed because Arrieta wants big money, and Pirates aren't spending big money.
I would try. I would give it a shot at least.
And obviously, if we're throwing shots around Arrieta like we have the last couple of years, obviously, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything. But if we're throwing around shots at Arrieta, you don't think these guys are too?
Which guys?
The GMs and the owners.
You're talking about the steroids?
Yeah, because he's one test away. I'm saying, my opinion, there's no way he's not. My opinion.
Has he ever been busted for it?
No. No.
So then how can you say that? Everybody's one test away.
Pitchers don't look like that. They don't look like that.
Look like what? He's got a beard.
240-pound chisel. They don't look like that. Baseball players don't look like that. They did 10 years ago. They did 10 years ago. 15 years ago they did.
I'm not with you on that. I say baseball players are athletes, and more now than ever. If you look at the bombs that they're hitting, I mean, was it Hamilton a few years back was just all forearms?
Oh, jeez. On every substance known to man other than steroids, and Hamilton was hitting bombs left and right.
Giancarlo Stanton. You look at these guys, and yeah, there's still the sloppy Joe out there. You got Napoli out there. Guys like in I don't say Napoli's sloppy. I'm saying guys in his kind of his realm, like regular people who just hit the ball very, very well, who are a little bit, couple beers heavy. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you're saying, but I also remember Arrieta when he played for the Orioles. And they got rid of him because they didn't want him because he wasn't that good. And then he went to the Cubs. It was two different human beings.
Well, you can say the same thing about AJ Burnett.
Yeah, but he didn't look like that. He didn't look like that when he was in Baltimore. He looked like a scrangly kid from Texas.
Yeah, I don't know. I was on it, and I honestly, here's the thing. I'm an advocate for letting them play with or without steroids. I don't care. Like I want to be entertained. I don't think steroids make you hit the ball better. It doesn't do anything. Like Barry Bonds, yes, he could crush the ball, but that ball is still going out regardless if he's on steroids or not. I'm sorry. McGuire's the same way. McGuire was hitting bombs before he was on steroids. Like it doesn't help you. To me, steroids do not help you enhance your hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if you can say McGuire was ever not on him. I don't know about that. But Bonds was a leadoff hitter at one point. Bonds was a 40-40 guy.
So was Ken Griffey Jr.
Well, Ken Griffey's one of the best that ever played baseball.
Barry Bonds is too.
He just got hurt all the time.
Well, Barry Bonds is, to me, one of the greatest hitters, pure hitters of all time. And people bash him for what they say is steroid use. And I get it. He looks completely different than he did, but bodies change regardless.
They do.
They change. And it's not like his dad was a skinny guy. His dad was a thicker being as well. And he didn't have the size, the head the size of a watermelon. But
that came later. Later.
But Barry Bonds is one of the best pure hitters. He was the best pure hitter in Pittsburgh. And then he moved over to San Francisco. And I still think he was one of the best pure hitters. Contact. He just knew how to make better contact than everybody else. And send it over.
Barnes was a leadoff hitter, hit 24 home runs.
Right. But he also had a ballpark built to his specifications. They built that ballpark in San Francisco around Barry Bonds. Make no mistake about it.
And they built PNC to Brian Giles. You saw how well that worked.
Well, that, much like everything else in the Pirates organization, was a huge mistake.
No, because he did good the 3 years they built the ballpark there for him, and then they got rid of him. He did good. He had 40 home runs one year.
They built the stadium around Brian Giles. I would like
right field.
I would like anybody to go up to do it tonight or do it tomorrow whenever you're at the basketball game. Are there any baseball players on the basketball team? Do they do dual sports?
How many, Tommy?
One. There's one.
Okay. Ask him if he knows who Brian Giles is and who he played for in the major leagues. 2 teams. I can think of 3 right off the top of my head. If he could do it, I'll take you both out to dinner.
All right.
Okay.
No expectations though.
Okay.
I don't put out on the first date. Okay.
Okay. He played. I can't say this because we're on the air because it might get heard. Crap.
Yeah. You can't say it. Can't say it.
Crap. Because he played 4 teams, right?
I can think of 3. I can't think of the 4th.
I can think of the 4th.
West Coast, 2 locals, and I can't think of the other one. I can't think of it, and I'm a baseball fan.
I got it.
So he's got to name 2. Who are put on the spot?
What you mean? Which basketball player is a baseball player?
Yeah.
Logan Torma.
Okay. What year is he?
He's a senior.
Okay, so he has the best shot to do this.
You're right, 3. Yeah, I just looked up 3. The 4th, there was a reason why I was saying 4, but there's another reason for that. But we'll go into that later.
So, all right, boys. The last topic is going to be the final topic is going to be Miller. Gets a standing ovation yesterday from the Arizona fans. It's huge opportunity for Arizona. And they had an opportunity to either put the hammer down on Sean Miller, or they had the opportunity to make him out, take his side. And that's exactly what they did. Tommy, we talked about it yesterday. What's your take on what happened in Arizona?
I'm happy for Miller. I mean, like we said, all the cards aren't out on the table yet. We don't know what's going on, and it just shows that Arizona is willing to stick by him until I guess the investigation is further processed. And it was nice to see the Arizona crowd react in the manner they did for him, because Miller is he's a good college basketball coach. He's done a lot for that program. And the program or the school has said, we're going to back you on this. And it's not something that we see really a lot in today's world, where, there's a lot of, when there's controversy surrounding an individual inside a program, usually the program, it could be in entertainment, it could be in athletics, the program tries to distance themselves from the issue or from the circumstance that's at hand. And Arizona went the other way on this, because yesterday, I said that they would probably just suspend him until the investigation is completed, and they went the opposite way. So hats off to Arizona and their board and the program for sticking by their man. So, what a great reaction for Miller last night when he came out. That was awesome. Standing
ovation, not too bad. Squeaky, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. As I've read before, he can come out and get the standing ovation all he wants, say he's innocent or whatever. The FBI doesn't play road games, okay? And they're always at home court, and they don't lose. So if this delays the inevitable, Arizona's going to lose big time. They're going to lose big time.
What do you think a situation like this does for the rest of the NCAA? I mean, we talk about all those teams that are possibly going to be indicted, or at least are looking at sanctions.
Nothing.
You don't think that this? I mean, well, I think from our standpoint, what happened in Arizona last night, the standing ovation, actually gives an opportunity for the rest of the teams like Duke, North Carolina, et cetera, to stand up and have an opportunity to save face a little bit. They're not going to face anything.
Yeah, they might not face anything. They might not face anything anyways, because the brand drives dollars, right?
It does. And that's here's my biggest thing is if you guys look at the report, ESPN is still standing by this, and Sean Miller says he's going to get vindicated. So somebody's going to look like a fool, and ESPN. It'll be interesting if it is ESPN, because they'll have the opportunity to just be like, oh yeah, that's just bad reporting, and then sweep it under the rug. Even though it's I mean, you think about if this is untrue, what they've done to Sean Miller. But usually when there's smoke, there's fire. But with all the fake news we see nowadays, you just never know.
And that's a good point.
I mean, there could be a lawsuit for Miller out of this.
If ESPN comes up on the wrong side of the stick, yeah, there could be.
So final thoughts, boys, before we wrap this one up.
But do I expect the results from the NCAA? No, I don't expect any results. I expect business as usual. I mean, you're talking about an organization who got outed by the press because they went to the boosters that were trying to nail Miami under the rug, and they got accused of wrongdoing in that whole investigation. Got to remember that.
Yeah, the NCAA plays it as they're high.
So what happened was the investigation sparked an investigation, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, they had to do an investigation of themselves.
Yeah, and this is also the same organization that proved and convicted Ohio State of doing 400 violations across all sports in a period of 3-4 years, I think it was. 400 violations. What did they get from it?
Nothing.
They didn't get anything. Because the brand drives the money. The money drives the brand. It's the same principle goes into it.
Yep.
Are we gonna watch Kent State or Southwest Texas State, or are we gonna watch Ohio State?
Yeah, you're right. Tommy's got his eye on, what was that, Texas Wesleyan?
Texas Wesleyan, yeah. I'm watching that news just grow and grow. So we'll see how that transforms here over the next 7 to 10 days. As it really, I think it's really going to hit hard mainstream. We'll see, though. I could be wrong.
Do we have any final thoughts, boys, for this week's burrito?
The weekend is here. Go Potters. Sectional game against Zanesville. Hopefully the boys can show up, and we'll have that recap for you Monday.
Squeaky's already in the zone.
I'm about a 5 right now.
You were a 6 on game day.
Yeah,
I feel like a 5 or a 6 today. It's Mondays and Fridays are. I'm dreading the week on Monday, and then I'm tired on Friday. So Mondays and Fridays for me.
Same boat.
I feel about a 4 or 5 myself.
Tommy will tell you this. I'm worse during football than I am basketball.
Oh, jeez.
He is.
So. All right, boys. Hey, well, good luck, Potters. Good luck to you guys. Travel safe down to Zanesville. If you need anything, give us a shout. But that's a wrap on this week's Breakfast Burrito. We thank you all for joining us. Tune in on Monday at 10 a.m. for all your local, regional, and national sports topics. We'll definitely have the Potter recap. And then, of course, on Fridays, we feature the greatest kind of character we've ever created in the Squeaky Bandito. Squeaky, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, brother. We'll see you guys.
I enjoy being had.
I'm sure you do. So we'll see you. We'll see everybody on Monday. That's a wrap on the Breakfast Burrito. It's a great day.
Make it yours.
All right.